Hi guys, my name is Roman Winsberg and today I'm going to speak about the discipline and how to become disciplined. We all probably would agree that discipline is a positive thing and lots of us would like to be disciplined. But what does the discipline means? Well, basically discipline means that you follow your plan no matter what. And if you say that you are lazy or you lack self-discipline, that only means that you don't have enough framework, structure, and positive habits to execute your plan. I must say that your plan definitely can be executed purely with your willpower, but it's much harder to do. So the systems and the positive habits is a much easier way to go. In the last video, I talked a lot about how to set the goals, the structure framework for your life, but I never mentioned the key component. And key component is how to execute your life plan. Basically, to execute your life plan is to be disciplined, to be consistent. So before I start, I must say that I also struggled all my life with discipline and I'm not nearly perfect right now. However, I searched the internet a lot and couldn't find the exact information I needed. That information I needed is how to be disciplined. So I read a lot of books, a lot of articles, and one book stuck with me, which was Atomic Habits by James Clear. So I must confess that this video is based majority on that book. So before starting implementing habits, you must understand what habits are, how they are formed, and what is the reason why the habits formed. In essence, all humans are lazy. We are lazy creatures, but that's perfectly fine because we are designed that way. So let me explain why. Basically, the laziness is the mechanism to save the energy purely for survival purposes. Whenever we stumble upon the problem, we need a lot of brain power or a lot of energy to solve that problem. Every time we use that energy for problem solution, that means that less energy left for the survival. So every new problem causes a lot of energy expenditure. But if you stumble upon the same problem every time, your brain recognizes the patterns. So it creates eventually the automation. In other words, habits. So basically it is automation to save energy. Your brain recognizes that the problem is the same that you ran into before and it just executes the program. So that means you save energy. But those automations, in other words, habits, can be positive, can be neutral, or it can be negative. Basically, our body cannot distinguish. Let me give you a few examples what is the positive, negative, or neutral habit. Positive habit is, for example, if you go to eat, before you start eating, you wash your hands. It's a positive habit, or in other words, automation. Neutral habit would be that you go to the table, you sit next to the table, specifically, for example, with your legs crossed. And the negative habit is, for example, while you're eating, you're adding a lot of sugar. So by removing the bad habits and implementing good habits, we can reach our goals to be successful, to grow, and to become a best version of ourselves. Improvements can be done in any area of your life, for example, career, relationship, business, health, or others. And we all probably know that the small changes, or in other words, habits, can lead you to the great success. In other words, any goal can be broken down into small pieces. So if you improve every piece at once, for example, even for the 1% per week, per month, or whatever, the sum gonna be a huge success, a huge improvement over the time. But before you start, you must change your mindset a little bit. Most of the people associate success with the end goal, but focusing on the end goal is not so good. Now I'll tell you why. Here's the example. You all probably know people who had the goal to lose weight. But once they reach that goal by dieting all the time, they didn't sustain that goal for a long time. And the reason is that because when you're focusing on the end goal, you ignore the processes and the habits that took to make you fit. Another reason also, which is reinforced by the studies, is that when we reach the goal, satisfaction is not sustained for long. For example, if you get promotion at job or you purchased a new car. So that satisfaction usually lasts a couple of months. Those studies also show that when you focus on the processes, usually you get the bigger satisfaction from improving every day. So you must fall in love with the process, with the growth that made you good. The other thing that helps a lot is that you must associate those processes with your personality. For example, if you want to be a fit person, you must ask yourself, what would the fit person do in that scenario? And you must act accordingly. Or if, for example, if you want to be an artist, what would an artist do and how would he spend his day to become better? So associating your habits with your personality is one of the major mindset changes that you must implement. In other words, your personality and your identity changes is the highest form of implementing a habit. For example, your goal is not to run a marathon, but to become a runner. Or your goal is not to record an album, but be a successful artist. So let's carry on to the habits. So generally, habits has 4 stages. The first stage is the cue, the second stage is craving, the third stage is response, and the fourth stage is reward. Let me give you an example. You are at work and working on the presentation which you must present tomorrow on very important meeting. You get bored at some point in your day. The boredom is the cue. Then you have a need to be entertained. So need to be entertained is your craving. As a response, you take out your mobile phone and turn on the YouTube or Netflix, so your brain gets entertainment. And the reward is that dopamine hit that keeps you happier and not so bored. So that's all the example and all the 4 stages of the habit. So first of all, let's start with the positive habits and how to implement one. Let's say that your goal is to reach the sales target and to become the best salesman in your company. So first stage should be the cue. So first of all, make the cue obvious. For example, when you're sitting at your desk, have a photo of successful businessmen, or for example, the destination you want to go if you reach the sales target. Second stage is craving, so make that craving attractive. If you're sitting at your desk and you must make some sales calls, make a small reward. For example, after 10 connected calls, you give yourself your favorite coffee. Third stage is response. If to do that action is really hard and have a lot of obstacles, it's less likely that you're gonna execute it. So remove as much obstacles as possible. For example, if you're sitting at the same desk and you have to make 10 connected phone calls, make it easier. Make a list before with all the contact numbers. Make yourself a reward obvious, which is gonna be a coffee on your table, and try to do and prepare as much as possible. And the fourth stage is reward. Make it satisfactory. For example, have yourself a calendar where you track your success, or a chart, or some kind of reward. For example, by the end of first month, if you do all your calls, give yourself a bigger reward. For example, a trip or a vacation somewhere. So that's how you implement the positive habit. But the same goes with the negative habits and how to remove them. Well, basically use all same 4 stages: the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. So make the cue not obvious at all. For example, if you want to get rid of eating junk food, and all you do when you open up your fridge and all you see is only a fast food, the cue not making it obvious, just remove all that unhealthy food from your fridge. Make it unattractive is the second stage. And for example, if you want to entertain yourself as a response and you remove all the apps that gives you entertainment in your phone, it's gonna be a lot more attractive to pull out your phone. Third stage is making your response difficult. For example, if you want to pull out your phone and to be entertained with social media or your email, just lock your phone, for example, in the safe. And the fourth stage is make your reward unsatisfactory. For example, if you're craving for the burger, make that burger really not tasty and even gross. So every time you're gonna eat that burger, you're not gonna get the satisfaction, and the habit is not gonna form, or it's gonna be formed in your head that eating burgers is not really tasty. This is the main 4 stages of implementing or removing the habits. But if you want to go even further, I'll give you another 4 things that you can do in order to succeed. First thing is get yourself into the environment where you can use your natural talent or natural advantages. For example, if you are a really tall person, you should consider playing basketball. And if you're a short person instead, you should consider, for example, going to the racing or F1 racing. By doing this, you're gonna have natural leverage over other people in that environment. Second thing that you can do is get yourself into the group of like-minded people. Those like-minded people gonna hold you accountable all the time, and you wouldn't want to fall behind them and be the loser of the group. So basically it's a psychological thing that you want to keep up to all the rest of the group. Third thing you can do is the social contract. For example, with the rewards and the punishments. The reward can be if the goal is to lose weight, for example 10 kilograms of weight. If you reach that goal, you can reward yourself with a nice clothes, brand new clothes. If you haven't reached that goal, or for example you can punish yourself if you skip one gym day, you can punish yourself with money punishment minus $100. And the fourth thing that helps a lot is tracking your progress. For example, having the calendar where you mark every day you go to the gym. And just remember, going to the gym or be consistent is the same as the compound interest. If you skip one day, those compound interest not gonna stack. The same goes with your progress. If you skip one day, it's not gonna stack. So if you haven't feel that you want to go to the gym one day, for example, just go to the gym for the short amount of time. For example, just for 20 minutes to keep that progress stacking. So that's it for today. I hope my advices and the rules how to form or remove habits gonna help you. Please try them and tell me how it works. Thank you and see you next time.